session is What's Attention Economy Got to Do with Media? Direction Finders for OOH. Our speaker leads the media and the entertainment industry vertical for PwC India. Some of his past and present clients include Hotstar, Zee, Dentsu, Tata Steel, ArcelorMittal, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm good morning. Put your hands together as we welcome partner PwC India, Mr. Rajib Basu, to join us on stage. A loud round of applause. Kindly note that the app will not be accepting questions because this session will not have questions at the end of it. So, Rajib Basu, all yours. Welcome.
Thank you for the kind introduction, and good morning to all of you. I don't see a lot many, but for those who have cared to attend or come in early this morning, good morning. I was given this topic, very interesting topic, and I generally on a Saturday I avoid attending meetings because we keep running around through the week. But when I heard about this topic, which is on attention economy, I really couldn't resist coming and sharing my thoughts and probably hearing some from you as well. What we're going to do today is cover these. Talk a little bit about the concept of attention economy. I'm sure you are already introduced to this concept. Talk a little bit about the characteristics of attention economy. How does it affect audience behavior? Then come to the impact of attention economy on media, and see, how does media really navigate the multitasking audience today, which is flipping between one media and the other, and what are the changing imperatives for advertisers? And here I will run you through a case study which was published in the Harvard Business School. Maybe you'll find some things interesting over there. So I was really thinking, when I talk about attention economy, should I give you a full one-page, text-heavy introduction of the concept? Or maybe better still, to grab your attention, start with a video. And I thought of doing the latter. So can I ask somebody to play this video, please?
That's not a bad photo. Laura posted a new album. A new video from John Oliver. Look at all these other videos. A new follower on Twitter. A few hot takes from the debate last night. This guy has a Wikipedia page. Oh, he grew up near New York. I grew up near New York. Just catch up on Instagram. Text from mom. Text from dad. Hey, dad, watch this kid shoot a firework at his dad. Send. Holy shit. It's been 40 minutes. Every time I look up after being stuck in my phone like this, I know it's going to happen again. And most of the time, I don't feel great about it. This is what it's like being a part of the attention economy. In his famous 1997 Wired article, Attention Shoppers, theoretical physicist Michael Goldhaber states that the economics of industrialized nations, especially that of the United States, have dramatically shifted. An increasing number of workers are no longer involved directly in the production, transportation, and distribution of material goods, and instead earn their living managing or dealing with information in some form. Most call this an information economy. But he rejects that label. By definition, economics is the study of how a society uses its scarce resources. And with the internet, our scarcity is definitely not information. Any piece of information you want. What product should you buy? What restaurant should you go to? Who's this guy? All of that is literally seconds away. So what does Goldhaber think flows through cyberspace and is scarce and desirable? As he explains, no one would put anything on the internet without the hope of obtaining some. It's called attention. And the economy of attention, not information, is the natural economy of cyberspace. And he's right, information consumes our attention, making it a scarce resource. We only have so many hours that we can glue ourselves to technology and the infinity of information it presents. We live in this attention economy, where you succeed by getting people to spend the most time, to allocate their attention to you or your product. And you dominate the economy if you can make people develop a habit where they spend time, to get their attention and hold it. It's why YouTube videos have titles like this, why traditional news sources are struggling, and why BuzzFeed is successful. It's why politics is no longer so much about policy as it is about who can bring the most attention to themselves or someone else. It's why Netflix has autoplay, why most social networks have an endless scroll. Look at advertisements from Old Spice or Mountain Dew. Their commercials are just trying to get you.
Thank you. We can stop the video now. Thank you. So I think it was an interesting way to introduce you to the concept, and you already know, all of us are part of the attention economy, and we are constantly the average. My iPhone always gives me a statistics of how many hours have I spent last week online. Online means on my phone, flipping through various media, and I get very alarmed that every week I'm actually doing 5% up than last week, or maybe marginally down than last week, and the average is almost 6 to 7 hours. So I'm sure, all of us are around that range, 6 to 7 hours spending online. So it essentially, the result of this attention economy is, you will see that, there's information overload today because you have various mediums where the audience is glued to, and therefore, because they're flipping through mediums, the attention span that the audience has today is very small. And why is the audience today on various mediums? Because these mediums are smart enough to make sure that they divide the audience into sections and find common ground as to get various sections of society on their platform. So because you have so many common grounds, depending on the time of the day, the mood of your psyche, your mood, what kind of work you're doing, because you have so much of common ground, and because these common grounds identify with different platforms, you would like to be part of those intersections, and therefore you are flipping between various mediums, and for one medium, for any one medium, you can only spend so much of attention, and therefore the competition that each medium has for your attention, and then attention becomes a scarce resource, and the whole concept of it becoming the currency in this current attention economy. The other pieces are, because the advertisers are chasing you, they have to target you. They have to know where you are, and they have to target you, and they have to personalize the targeting so that they can get your attention. Fragmentation of audiences have to be addressed. There's a lot of psychological manipulation. You may not realize it, but there's a lot of psychological manipulations that the advertisers have to do to grab your attention, and huge influencers, huge influence of influencers on social media. And the whole concept of virality and shareability comes in, because you need to make things viral to kind of make sure that you are chasing your audience, and you are actually, you're actually enabling them to share their experiences as well. So it is a two-way street now today. Earlier, all of us are media professionals here. We all know that media used to be one-way interaction. Today, you can post something, get feedback. And it's natural human tendency to get validation, right? So you see, what is the behavior of audience today in the attention economy? They're multitasking, because they have got common ground across different platforms. Depends on the time of the day, depends on the depends on the mood, depends on what kind of work you're doing. You are on different platforms and in different times of the day. And obviously, there's media fragmentation. Distraction, we've spoken about it. Preference for visual content, because you always process stories better, and you always process stories that you see better than the stories that you hear or read. So there is this natural preference for visual content. Validation. As human beings, because you have this desire for validation of your thoughts, your beliefs, etc. Social media, because of it being interactive, provides you that opportunity to get that validation. So therefore, the social media validation is very important these days, and audience is constantly looking for it, and there's this fear of missing out. Influencer culture, as I spoke about it, because you subscribe to certain views, attributes, certain values, you identify with influencers on those intersections, right? So the culture of influencers coming in and shaping audiences' views, audiences' opinion, and therefore ultimately their buying behavior is more and more prevalent these days. And because you're flipping through one channel to the other, one platform to the other, there is fatigue. So this essentially, I don't say it's the most accurate summary, but it's a very near accurate summary of what is happening to the audience behavior today, because we are getting deeper into this attention economy. And as a result, the response from advertisers need to move. They need to shift from what they were yesterday, when we were in, not in such a fast-paced environment, to where we are today, right? So what is the impact of this economy on media? So some surveys said that we are bombarded by 3,000 advertising messages per day on various media. That could be slightly up or down, slightly more or less in India. But essentially the question for the advertisers is the same. What advertisement shall get the audience's attention, the audience that I want to address? Which is that advertisement? What is the characteristic of that advertisement? And what if it does not get that, what if it does not get the attention that we are looking for? So the goal today for the advertiser is not passing on the information, but to grab the attention. Information is, as you saw in that video, information is available on tap. It is to be able to attract, to give that information, to pass on that information in a way you want it to be. Now, I will slowly go into the case study. The case study, hopefully you'll find it interesting. This is a HBR case which was published a while back. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. On the US audience, on TV audience. But why am I discussing this in the OOH scenario? Because the results that came out from this case study, which was done on, I think, a lack of television viewers, the results really are something that you will probably identify with. And it also, in a way, is relevant for all advertisers. So what they said was when, and this is a survey that was done on the impact of multitasking on advertisements, okay? So the multitasking behavior of audiences on advertisements. And I'm focusing on this today because, there's a lot of other topics that you could focus on. But I thought that is important because, ultimately, whether you would be OOH or any other medium, the advertiser and the advertisement becomes important, right? So, the subject matter of the study was, in this kind of a multitasking behavior, should the advertisers do something entirely different in form of ads than the ones that were currently being used? And this is, again, I'm telling you, this is US. If you had this study in India at a different point in time, you might come up with a slightly different outcome, but I wouldn't say it would be dramatically different, because Ultimately, it's human beings. Ultimately, we're dealing with Gen Zs, Gen Xs, and Gen Ys in every culture. Sorry. Yeah. So essentially, the advertising, so what they did in this survey was they matched the advertising data, television advertising data, with the website visits and the online purchases of 100,000 participants on a second-by-second basis. And to do this, they divided the advertisement types into 2 types. And you can find this, and I've given a link to this survey, this paper, and you can find it on the web. It's freely available. So they classified advertisements, television advertisements here, into 2 different types. Those which were brand image enhancing, and those that were used to target direct response. And within that, the brand image enhancing advertisements were classified into imagery focused and emotion focused, whereas the direct response generating advertisements were classified into product focus and action focus. And you see the snippet from the Victoria's Secret, the various types of ads that were run for the Victoria's Secret brand. Yeah. So what they found was, amongst multitaskers, the imagery focus ads were least effective of all the 4 types for driving online purchases. And the best ads to drive multitaskers to the brand websites were action-focused ads. Those that urge people to go online, actually, they accomplished that to a great extent. So that was one of the big takeaways from this survey. So again, my one caveat is, if you ran this survey somewhere in India over a period of time, you might come up with slightly different results, but this is US, but take that for a moment and go with it. The other trends that came out was that there was no single type of ad that could accomplish both the task of increasing the number of visitations to your website and the number of purchases. One ad could not do that. By only using one type of TV ad, you could do either. Okay? And they also saw that emotion-focused ads were a little bit more effective, whereas product and emotion-focused, they had probably the same impact, but emotion-focused ads were a little bit more effective. And both ad types actually increased online purchases, but they did not increase the number of visitations to websites. The different types of ads giving different results, so far as the attention economy audience, the multitasking audience was concerned. The other piece that came out was, the more the viewer were entertained, the more they were likely to watch till the end. And for those who watched till the end, they were more entertained, the higher was their intention to purchase. But, very surprisingly, beyond a certain point, we saw that the intent to purchase actually dropped, although there was more entertainment happening in the ad. So the entertainment quotient actually took over the intent to purchase. So there is an optimal point beyond which the entertainment value takes over and the intent to purchase goes down. So this is, and they were referring to, they had 3 ads of Pepsi Super Bowl 2011 Super Bowl ads, and they studied that to come up with that conclusion. So what was the takeaway basically? The author actually drew up a matrix of attention contingency, advertising strategy, and he also gave some examples. So how attention contingency and advertising strategy could be linked. So he said that look, if you have full attention, if you know that you are going to get full attention, use all the attention and focus on persuasion, and use imagery-focused ads. If you have partial attention, mostly to the main screen, don't lose the attention, benefit from the multitaskers, and depending on what action you're trying to drive, you use action-focused, emotion-focused, or product-focused ads. And if you have partial attention, which is normally the case, mostly to the second screen, then you are competing for attention, but not at the expense of persuasion. So you optimize the level of entertainment that you're going to dish out through the ad. And your lack of attention, it's critical to gain attention and grab it from other mediums that are competing with your medium. So a viral advertising might be useful there. So these are some of these strategies that they came up with, and it's it's an output of research. Might be helpful for you to kind of look through the paper to get more details of this research. But it's interesting, and I'm not so sure whether these kind of researches have been done in India. I'm sure there must be some papers on this, and it would be therefore interesting to see how those compare with these results. So finally, and this is my last slide. What are the takeaways? And the paper saw that as a strategy to low attention challenges, marketers were responding by increasing the number of advertising, increasing price promotions to acquire customers, pursuing other means. It has, and they thought that it had adverse effect on both profit and future revenues. The better thing was to do a cheaper solution, to increase cheaper solution to get attention, or to increase its conversion to sales. And some of the novel approaches, like they talked about lean advertising and viral ad symbiosis, which could help in mitigating the rising cost of attention. And to effectively manage this valuable resource, this scarce resource now today, which is in the attention economy, which is attention, they said that they need to tailor their advertising strategies to the attention contingently available to them. So to understand, what is it? So, going back to that matrix, what is the attention that is contingently available, and accordingly, this strategy, the ad strategy, and the kind of ads. So with that, I'll close. Hopefully that has given you some insights, and I focused on only one aspect of the attention economy, which is, how do advertisers' strategy change with the kind of attention that they are getting. And we discussed this research paper. Hopefully you found this interesting. And the next time round, you're trying to adopt some of this ad strategies for you. When you're going on the OOH medium, might be some of these thoughts should cross your mind. I wish you a very good rest of the day, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, please.
Maybe please have a mic. We've got the mic.
So this was from attention perspective. Then obviously we are living.
Identify yourself.
Huh?
Please identify yourself.
Okay, I'm Shashi Sinha. I'm Chief Business Officer, Media and Advertising, Adani Airports. Sorry. So very interesting research. You have done the exposition from the attention point of view. Of course, attention has become contingent, broken, fractured. And we are today living in a continuous partial attention regime. The concept given by Linda Stone, who was working with Apple, now with Google. On the other side, the challenge for the brand is that emotional and those things have gone. Today, brands require what is called mental availability of brands. Because today, whenever some need will spring up, it will engender a search. And when you want to search for something, the brand has to be available mentally. So brands are facing a challenge that they need to be mentally available in the minds of the consumer. Attention is scarce, broken, and I think today, out-of-home media is in the most appropriate spot, because the traditional media, which has thrived so far on block attention, 15 minutes average issue readership, half an hour of TV viewership, 20 minutes of radio listenership, it has gone.
I'm down to seconds.
You're?
It has come down to seconds.
It has come down to seconds. And out of home has always been thriving on seconds. It has been a 4-second medium. So when audience does not have minutes, and those media, they need minutes. Outdoor always needed seconds, and that was its weakness. And it has now become its strength. And that is what we need to understand. And brands need mental availability. So the moment you have this kind of a very scientific, complementary exposition, and marketers understand that, I think this is what the game
absolutely.
is.
I think it's a great point.
Thank you.
I think it's a great point, and thank you for bringing that up. I think it only re-emphasizes, some of the things that we discussed, really, and and absolutely the importance of out of home in building, brand building, image, the imagery, the brand building, etc., cannot be underemphasized. So, where you need to create the impression of the brand in the minds of, and you're competing for attention. I think out of home is undoubtedly in a very strong position to do that. So thank you very much for your comments, sir. And with that, I think it's a good way to end my talk. Thank you for your attention, which is anyway very scarce. And you gave me 20 minutes of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Please join us center stage. Mr. Basu, center stage, please. We've got a beautiful memento we'd like to present to you, and we invite Mr. Akash Jante, COO at VJ MediaWorks, to do us the honors. Welcome, Akash. Thank you so much. Can we have the memento on stage, please? And thank you for the spotlight on attention today. And